The presentation is a free enterprise solution to climate change.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means basically revealing all the costs in a transparent marketplace so that all of us in the liberty of enlightened self-interest seek our self-interest and really look for the fuels of the future and create a marketplace for the fuels of the future. And so at that point, it's the dynamism of the free enterprise system that solves climate change rather than an attempt at government regulations or fickle tax incentives or clumsy mandates, because those are a very expensive way and a very slow way to get the kind of change that we need.
What are some of the specific proposals you have for business to take the lead in this?
You know, with the smart money is already moving on this politically. In other words, they are expressing the view that, listen, just give us a price signal and we'll know what to do. Once we get the price signal through some sort of pricing of carbon dioxide, then businesses will be incentivized, just like us as individuals, to make choices about fuels that don't emit. And the result will be a market created for those fuels. And the challenger fuels that right now need props in order to take on the incumbents won't need the props anymore. And it'll just be a level playing field and a free competition. That's what we think comes from a pricing of carbon dioxide. Probably most efficiently through a carbon tax applied at the mine and pipeline, and then paired with a dollar-for-dollar reduction in other taxes or a dividend of all the carbon tax revenue back to the people so there's no growth of government, and an application of that tax at the border so that we collect it on imports.
That's the next question is, climate is a global issue. How does this plan take care of the global marketplace and get all buy-in from other countries?
Two essentials for us at republicEN. One is cutting taxes or dividend the money back so there's no growth of government. But the other is to get China and India in on this. And the way that we think that's best done is say, yeah, you can have access to our market. It's just that if you don't have the same carbon tax that we've got, we're going to collect that tax for you on entry into our ports. China may challenge that in the World Trade Organization. We think they lose based on precedents in the chemical industry. After they lose, it's going to be in their interest to do the same thing. And so then they follow our lead and internalize this cost, these costs associated with burning of fossil fuels in China. And at that point, the whole world begins to follow America and China. And then you got 7 billion people looking for the new, better, cleaner, cheaper fuels and driving the innovation. Rather than America trying to do it by moral suasion or by our own domestic incentives, but rather it's a whole world market that's then supplying the real drive for innovation. And unless that sounds, you know, I often feel like I'm expressing a lot of faith in the power of free enterprise, but I think it's a reasonable faith because of the presence, for example, of cell phones. You know, the first cell phone I had was $1 a minute. Now I can talk to my kids anywhere in the world on WhatsApp for free. The typical smartphone has more computing capacity than what we landed on the moon with. And so it's incredible how the example of telecommunications created this massive market, and that's going to happen in energy, we believe. And so distributed energy systems where we're taking solar off our roofs, perhaps, storing it in a basement and a battery, powering our cars, powering our lives, saying to the Middle East, see if you can drink that stuff, and really changing the way the world works. It's an exciting time. So climate change action is not just doom and gloom, it's exciting business opportunity, really.